As speculated in the recap of the previous episode, it was indeed Milo who pulled off the Vannon incident to send chills down the spine of the entire Kingstown. However, despite Constantine being quite certain that these crimes would be Milo's doing, Mike was in denial because he didn't want to believe that Milo was alive and he had seen his boat explode in front of his eyes. To his surprise, his worst nightmare just came true during the ending of May of Kingstown Season 3, and they desired someone to take responsibility for his inability to maintain law and order within the confines of the prison. In a nutshell, they made Kareem the victim. Now, Kareem was mentally and financially unprepared for such a sudden termination. Kareem was worried that he would no longer be able to pay for his child's medical care because the psychiatrist his child was seeing was very expensive. In the final episode, after he was fired from his position, he used his remaining time as a warden to track down the bomber within the prison walls. Even though Bunny's men had thrown grenades inside the prison, the lead investigator asked Kareem how the gangsters knew that Merle Kahan and his men were in the yard when they threw the grenades. Obviously, someone inside the prison tells them, so Kareem started his own investigation and thoroughly checked the CCTV footage. He saw the young man Kevin Jackson signaling someone outside the prison walls, which indicated that he was the informer he had been looking for. The episode didn't uncover Kareem's destiny, however from Can's response, one can securely expect that the old superintendent is dead, and in light of the fact that Kareem kicked the bucket working, I surmise his family would be qualified for an annuity and remuneration, which could assist them with arranging a superior future after his demise. Perhaps Kareem felt it was the main choice. He must be a superior dad and spouse. The final fight between Milo and Mike was the focus of Season 3's conclusion. Milo wanted to let things be as they were so that he could restructure the business with Mike and work together like in the past, but Mike didn't intend to do so. On the off chance that he had gotten the hang of anything throughout everyday life, it was the way that in the event that a man at any point thinks for even a moment to deceive you once, he can rehash that. That was the justification for why Mike didn't succumb to Milo's sweet words. He was aware that in the previous episode, they could turn to poison at any time. Milo had shot Con Anton's muzzle Roman when he went to the workplace to gather another visa for Iris so she could leave town and begin another life elsewhere. It very well may be conjectured that Milo tormented the damnation out of Roman and looked into Constantine's confidential before at last giving Roman a horrendous demise in the most potential Russian manner. In the meantime, Mike too had set a trap to get rid of Constantine. Surprisingly, Milo won the whole fiasco. Constantine had made himself helpless by sending every one of his men to manage Rabbit Washington and take his weapons. Milo utilized the chance to shock Constantine and showed up at his yacht to manage the one who attempted to kill him and had recently killed his better half as a demonstration of retribution. Constantine was to be shot in the head by Iris, Milo wanted. He had called Mike to the yacht for a similar explanation so he could extortion Iris to pull the trigger if she had any desire to safeguard Mike. And in City Hall leader of Kingstown Season 3's consummation, Iris did the impossible, yet the responsibility of her activities gulped down her entire. Later, we'll return to that. Mike had already called Ian for help before he got to the boat, and Mike used Ian shooting at Milo's men outside the boat as a distraction to attack Milo. Afterward, Mike held Milo at gunpoint and requested that Ian drop Iris at the bus stop so she could leave town always and at absolutely no point ever return to Kingstown in the future. Notwithstanding, in this turmoil, Mike neglected to comprehend the tempest of feeling Iris was going through, and he just let her pursue Ian and Iris left. Mike made obviously he won't allow Milo to reside to see one more day. He was not in that frame of mind to make an arrangement with Satan. Once more, and at this critical second, Milo just committed the greatest error of his life by carrying Mike's mom into the discussion. He faulted Mike for her passing, which isn't precisely evident assuming you recollect toward the finish of the past season Milo took Iris and Miriam, Mike's mom, prisoner at his home just to extort Mike to return his bonds anyway. Things went haywire and Kyle unintentionally shot Miriam. which prompted her demise. Now Milo was simply fanning the chute by helping Mike to remember the grievous evening, and that was the motivation behind why Mike didn't prevent himself from killing the beast. He faulted Milo for Miriam's demise and was prepared to turn into a criminal himself for the long-term win. And City Hall leader of Kingstown Season 3's closure, Mike shot Milo dead and tossed the firearm in the lake to dispose of the proof. In the event that you realize Milo all right, you will know about how the man likes to torment an individual, truly as well as sincerely too. Milo might have shot Constantine himself, yet he believed Iris should do that since he needed to damage her forever. This would be his ultimate victory because he was aware that Iris would not be able to survive the aftermath of shooting someone at point-blank range. Despite the fact that Milo had consented to liberate Iris from the shackles, he knew that the revulsions of having killed an individual would torment her eternity and wouldn't leave her alone. Settled once more. Iris was confronting a situation while she was perched on a transport. She needed to quiet those voices in her mind and accordingly took at least 2 pills to calm her psyche. Iris, on the other hand, was completely blue and pale when the bus arrived at the next station. It seemed like she passed on from a medication excess, and, surprisingly, however many would maintain that she should return in Season 4, I don't figure she will. When Mike hears that Iris has passed away, he will be devastated. Ironically, he had always wanted her to leave Kingstown so she could live a long and happy life. She passed away as soon as she reached the city's border. Iris never intended to leave, but Mike forced her to do so, and Mike may feel remorse for that decision in the following season. On the off chance that you have made it this far into the show, you're now mindful of Robert Sawyer and his warped psyche, which had transformed the specialized squads into a demise crew. Kyle, who had as of late turned into a piece of the group, was an observer to Robert's merciless killings on the field. Once he started shooting, a man wouldn't stop. He wouldn't even be afraid to kill a lot of innocent people if they happened to enter his range of vision by accident. Evelyn and Kyle both wanted Robert to leave the team as soon as possible because of the kind of evil he was. Maury, a SWAT member, was a crucial witness to Robert's crime. However, Ian killed Morsi and assisted his friend Dodge in an official investigation. Evelyn believed that Mike should take care of Robert, yet Mike was in the middle of filling the role of a steadfast companion and subsequently would not stop the beast whenever he got the opportunity to do so. Presently, a similar beast has come to torment his sibling, and Mike will be compelled to do what Evelyn had recently requested to get proof against Robert and get him captured for his violations during the brutal conflict between Rabbit's posse and the Russians the specialized squad mediated. To safeguard the regular citizens caught in the crossfire close to the focal point of the extension, Kyle found a man with his child in the vehicle. The man was holding his confidential firearm for his security, yet Robert trusted him to be an individual from Rabbit's pack and directed the weapon at him toward shoot the man before his child. That was the second when Kyle lost his grasp and discharged shots at Robert to prevent the beast from shedding a non-military personnel blood in his attack of frenzy. However, despite the fact that Kyle shot Robert to save honest lives, different individuals from the group accepted in any case. They marked it an individual wind information where an official attempted to shoot one more official and Kyle was taken into police guardianship for additional examination. Indeed, Robert didn't pass on. His indestructible West saved him. However, if you were to ask me, he ought to be dead. Nonetheless, the inquiry here is, in the final episode, what is Mike going to do next? Evelyn had clarified that she would quit researching Morsi's demise provided that Mike got her implicating proof against Robert. The first surmise she will make a similar arrangement for Kyle's case, and will let him go on the off chance that Mike assists the doe with putting Robert in the slammer so he can be executed for every one of the homicides he had carried out for the sake of policing. In the event that Mike neglects to find any such proof, then Kyle could need to serve jail time very much like Mike did in his more youthful years, and on the off chance that that occurs, Robert could need to confront Mike's rage, who wouldn't leave a stone unturned to show Robert his position in the division. You see, Kyle's rest could have a seriously harming impact. Clearly, Robert and Mike will become foes after the whole disaster, yet such a contention could likewise influence Mike's relationship with Yen and the whole police division. I consider Yen to be a reasonable man, yet Robert can persuade others to Walk out on Mike as he is something like than a criminal who has been supporting Rabbit Washington starting from the starting. In short, the fourth season can be a face-off among Mike and Robert. And yes, remember about Merle Cahan, the Aryan Posse pioneer, was injured, yet he isn't dead yet, and the individuals from the group had proactively cut the old superintendent, carry him in the yard, which could prompt one more mob in the jail. So the issues for the city chairman of Kingstown are a long way from being over anyway. The man simply needed some harmony toward the day's end and subsequently headed to his lodge in the forest to get a few rest, and that is my line to see you when the following season drops. Thank you for watching this video. Please share your thoughts about your experience watching the Kingstown Mayor in the comment section. Stir things up around town button and buy into our feed to get your week-by-week portion of film and series. See you at the following one, and for now, farewell and fare thee well.